Hello, how's it going? I feel like it's been a long time since we were here, but it was only a few days. So welcome. I am Sarami and this is SewSewLive, and today I am starting the Audrey Jean Jacket by Seamwork magazine. I am a member of Seamwork and this is my first Seamwork pattern. I'm pretty sure it's been a couple months that maybe a few more than a couple months that I signed up. And this one definitely caught my eye. I really like just the silhouette of it. Sorry, I don't have the cover picture. I didn't want to print the cover picture, but it's a very traditional looking jean jacket. I looked at the hashtag. There haven't been a ton of them made, and I'm pretty excited to do it. Like, I really love top stitching, obviously. Hello, Brooke. How's it going? So there are fit guides for 0 to 16 and for 18 to 26. Let's see what the size, I don't know if I have the size chart for, yeah, I do. So that goes up to a size 54 bust, and I'm making the size 10, which I'm at the top end for my bust and my hip, actually. I think I'm a little bit above the hip, but there is some ease in it. Let's see, what's the ease? So it tells you about how it fits for each size range because it fits slightly differently, which is really interesting. And then it has the ease right here. So, you know, this is how you can determine what kind of fit you want. It says negative ease if you want it really, you know, that would be knits, if you want it really fitted or loose or whatever. So I'm going just for an average fit. I really hate that word average. Hi, Nana D. How's it going? Or Nana Di. I bet you're named Nana Di, right? Like Grandma Diane. How's it going? So I might end up making a 3-part stream with this. This took me a long time to cut out. I'm not going to make I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I spent a lot of time cutting this out. I wasn't going really fast, but at the same time, I was consistently working on it. And I got distracted here and there with little projects, but at the same time, there are a lot of pieces, and I wanted to set myself up for success. You know, let me see if there's a picture of all the pieces. There aren't any other views, so you cut them all. But I did do some modifications. Awesome. I did do some modifications because, you know, sometimes I just can't leave things alone, and you can just skip those modifications if you're not interested in them. So the things I'm going to do are make this is a little chest pocket flap, and it's a fake pocket. There's no pocket there, and I made it a real pocket, so I drafted a couple of pocket piece patterns. I also am putting a lined front on the lower portion to cover up all of my pockets. So I'm going to have chest pockets hanging down and the hand pockets, and I just want to cover all that up. And you know, I'm not sure this will actually happen or not. I might see how it looks before I do it. The other thing I'm doing is I'm just lining the back yoke, which a lot of people do. Totally straightforward. So I will walk you through quickly like what pattern changes I made to do these things. Really the only thing I did differently was create this chest pocket pattern. I just used the middle panel. Now, you know, honestly, this pocket's not going to be incredibly useful. It's pretty narrow because there's 5/8 inch seam allowance there. But at the same time, the idea of a fake pocket just kind of bugged me. Really, that's probably more practical. You don't have to sew it or anything. But I just thought it would be kind of a fun detail because I could put my glasses in there or my lip stuff or something like that. I don't even think my phone will fit in there. Maybe a smaller phone, but not mine. So I just basically traced off this pattern piece, made it the depth that I wanted it, and I drafted 2 pattern pieces. A top pocket and an under pocket, and I just made the top pocket about 3/8 of an inch shorter. That's about it. That's all I did. And then I cut those pattern pieces out. And basically what I'm going to do, and I trimmed this same amount that I have here. I trimmed that off the top when I cut this out. I didn't trim it off this pattern piece because I might want to use this again, and I didn't really feel the need that I needed to draft a pattern piece for that. So that's all I did to do this, and let's see how it goes, because I was going to sew a trial and I just didn't get to it because like I said, there was a lot to prep. And when I decided to do this, I didn't have enough of this fabric, so I ran to the fabric store yesterday and got it, and then I had to wash it last night and cut it out this morning. And then I interfaced it because it's much lighter weight than the denim. So, oh yeah, so that's another thing I did. I made my under pocket flaps this lining because I thought it would be kind of cute. And I did my under collar this lining. So things that you don't really need pattern changes for, I just did as an accent. Mostly my jean jacket's going to be a jean jacket on the outside. You might see a little hint of this on the under collar when I'm wearing it, and that's it. So it looks like more than there's going to be actually showing. I didn't even have a chance to trim all my serger threads, so yeah, look how messy all this is. So here's my front yoke. I'm going to set that aside for now, and I'm just going to get out my front pattern pieces and have them ready here. But first I'm going to tackle the pocket. Almost always in all garments, you always tackle the pocket first. So there is going to be a little bit of thread switching back and forth because there's quite a bit of top stitch, and you know how I like top stitch. So I'm going to just make my pocket flaps. Let's just start sewing. Have I turned my machine on? Oh, I did turn my machine on. So how are you guys doing? Are you guys sewing anything? I always start really fast at the beginning, and then I'll calm down and kind of ease into this. So how's the lighting? I know, I've been hoarding this lining for a long time, Brooke. It's a Japanese coca print, and it's not very new. So I just really liked it with the denim. I scoured my studio. Hi, Nancy. Yeah, isn't this cute? It's really cute. I really love it. So you'll notice that I did trim away on my pocket lining a tiny bit in the center here to nothing at the points. I just really don't want it to, you know, sneak out under the sides. So that's why I did that. So it's 0 at the points, and then it's just a little bit there. And then I will pull that toward it as I sew it. So I think these are 5/8. Oh, let's double check our seam allowances. I think they're 5/8 all the way through. So big. So big. So in the instructions, they have you assemble the collar, assemble the cuffs, and assemble the waistband first before you start sewing anything. I think that's awesome. I would totally recommend doing that. Because I'm doing this in like a 3-part stream, most likely the 3-part stream, because I have a feeling that this is going to be quite a bit of detail. Easy to sew, but just lots of double sewing because you're top stitching everything. So another good time to have one of those double needle top stitching needles for a home sewing machine. If you can do that, I would totally recommend it. It'll save you time and it'll look top notch. So totally recommend it. They even have you assemble the sleeves. But I just figure it would be really nice to just do like the front, the back, and then just assemble it the way I always assemble a garment in the same steps. So their instructions are great. Let's see here. 5/8 inch seams. Doesn't say. I really wish seam allowance was clearly stated right here at the top, because it says it right there, 5/8 there, but is that the same on everything? I don't know. I love top stitching too, Nancy. That's probably really why I wanted to make this. All right, well, we're gonna do 5/8 inch seams. Doesn't say otherwise. All right. So I sew on an industrial Juki 8700. I've been getting a lot of questions about my machine lately. Oh, that 5/8 is so big. So big. So big it feels inaccurate to me. Like getting this point right here in the right spot. It's kind of hard to tell if I'm right above that point. And I actually, oops, I missed it. Let's see, look, I don't even think that's even. I'm gonna go a little bit on the inside of that. Pivot when I think I'm at that spot. And I'm gonna trim all this down like this. I sometimes will pre-trim my seam allowances when it's that big. I'm using this really great popcorn denim that I just got. It's dead stock, meaning it's not being made anymore. So see that? Before, I haven't even top stitched my pocket and it's already pulling to the inside, which is great. It's not going to fight me. It's a little harder to get your points really nicely when you use denim as 2 layers. So you might want a point turner or something like this awl. So I already need to do some top stitching. I hope I don't run out of top stitching thread. Yeah, right, Nancy? Me too. I totally agree with you. There are times when I'm so skint on fabric that I will, did I run out of bobbin thread? What's going on? Oh, I did, look at that. I got one pocket flap. Good thing I already have a bobbin wound right here. Always winding bobbins. So I decided to use my jeans top stitching thread, but this is all I have. So I'm really hoping I have enough. I may need some in between streams, and I don't even know if I can get it locally, so we'll see. That would be kind of a tragedy. I didn't even think about it until I was setting up last night. I was like, oh, what am I gonna top stitch this with? Oh, these 5/8 seams. I just don't really feel like they're necessary on something like a pocket flap. You're not gonna fit a pocket flap, you know? But I know it's also less confusing to stay with the exact same seam allowance. You know? So you can see my pocket's curving up, and it's because I've kind of made it do that, you know, go near my trimmed pattern pieces, you know? I know, it feels like the sun is shining upon us, Nancy, when that happens, right? Like right after the seam. I used to be able to hear my machine run out of bobbin, but I can't tell on this machine. It's kind of funny. It's kind of a weird thing that I can't tell anymore. I could tell when anyone's machine ran out of bobbin, but I can't tell on this one. All right, I'm just gonna turn my points. I'll probably need to top stitch this before I finish my fronts, but I'm going to see how far I can get so that maybe there's a chance I could actually top stitch more than just these flaps all at the same time. So cute. I love this fabric. I'm so glad I'm finally using this fabric. Yay. All right, let's see. Let me get my pattern piece out. Because I've serged it, it's kind of hard to tell, you know. So this must be the right front, and this is the left front. So this is what I do. We've talked about like how we deal with these. Oh, sorry, Nancy. You know what? I sometimes will trim the seam allowance as I'm cutting out the pieces. Like if I know, if I'm really close, you know, I will actually lay my pattern piece over like that. And then I will like maybe make a chalk mark on here that's, you know, like, or tape a piece of paper there so I remember what's missing. Or I will chalk line where the seam line is just to remind myself. Because if I'm really close and like say it's at a weird angle, that's what I will do. You know, like say this pattern piece was like this, I cut out of the fabric and I'm like, oh God, I can barely fit this between these two pattern pieces. That's what I'll do. So sometimes you do what you gotta do. So you know how like I think a lot of us really hate these, and I feel like once we cut them, they still keep going. So this is what I do, and I would love any other feedback. I cut it pretty close, I pull it tight, and then I cut it again. So trim, pull, and see like these I'm not getting very good on the edge there. That's what I do. I'm gonna pull it a little bit. That one did really good, got right there in the corner. I'm just gonna leave those because if I get any closer, it just starts the whole process over and over again, you know? I just keep trimming and trimming. It's just like a wicked loop. That one did pretty good too. So if anyone has better, I know I'm gonna get a comment on this video and says, you know what so and so does, and I'm looking forward to it because I feel like even when you go to buy your serger, they just gloss over this. Yeah, you could do that too, Nancy. That's a great idea. That would be the best and tidiest way, you know. They don't do that in production though. But their sergers don't do this. I've used production sergers I don't own one because they're so, it's just as big as one of these machines. And I just don't want, you know, it would be nice. It really would be. But it is nice having it portable too, you know. So, I don't know. All right, so remember, I trimmed off a little bit at the top here to accommodate for my pocket. And let's see, which one is my shortened one? This one is. And let's see if I can see my... Let's see. There we go. This fabric was so, it's so lightweight. I'm still going to do a 5/8 inch seam. I'm doing 5/8 inch everywhere else. I'm going to understitch. Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm going to top stitch it. I'm going to top stitch it. I still serged that just out of habit. Now I could do the contrast top stitching right here. It would probably be more consistent, but it's going to be under my flap, so no one's going to see it. So this is my pocket opening at the top of the middle panel of the front. So yeah, it does it really, Nancy. Oh, see, it sounds. Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not the tidiest sewer. I'm really not. You guys might think I am, but I'm really not. You're just not seeing it on such a high quality camera. I'm tidy as I sew, but you know, and yeah, you know, like this. I'm getting rid of this right now. And I don't do that for you guys. I do that because I would do that normally. I really like my sewing to look as good as possible as I'm doing it. It bolsters my self-confidence, right? Okay, so I am just trying to keep track of which one is my left front, which one's my right front. One of these notches I could see. Where is it? Let's see. I'm just looking for one of these notches. Oh, there it is. Okay, okay. So that is the right, the left. Okay. So now I'm actually going to do this on the inside. Whoops. So this is the outside. Okay, so I'm going to do this. So it right sides together. I can do whatever seam allowance I want on the bottom of this pocket. So I'm just going to do the smallest one so my pocket's a little deeper. And that's it. That's my pocket. So now this seam, those seams will get caught in the side seams. This pocket's going to stick up a little bit above because it's going to get caught in the yoke seam like that. It would have been a nicer touch if I had made the right side of the fabric on the inside of the pocket, right? You got to pick, like if you're not going to line your front when you do pockets, you got to pick, do you want to see the lining on the right side when you open your jacket up? Or do you want to see it, hi Eileen, or if you want to see it on the inside of your pocket. This has a flap over it, so I'm not too broken up the fact that I forgot to do that, but you know, would have been nice if I had thought of it sooner. Alright. I could edge stitch this pocket, but you know, you wouldn't normally. And it's going to get tacked to the seams right there. See, so now I have my pocket ready to go. My little flap's going to fit right over that. Pretty cute. Alright, so let's get rid of this pattern piece. Let's sew our front. So this has a placket that you fold over on itself. I found this a little confusing, I will say. So they actually denote the seam allowance of the fold line right here. So this is a little placket. It's going to go like this. That's what's going to happen there. But because they have this line, the 6, 8, 10 line here, I almost cut this line off. I don't know why. There's something about it. I think that those right here would have been a little bit more clear. So just be careful. Don't trim this thing off. You'll have a narrower placket than you intended. All right, so let's see. This is the right front, left front. Just trying to keep my lefts and my rights. The pieces are very similar to each other. And here's all my serging again. Let's trim those. I'm just going to trim it off at the bottom here because this goes all in the waist seam down here. I'll trim all these first and then you should see my floor. No, you shouldn't see my floor. Hi, Malin. How's it going? Okay, so I didn't serge this edge because I accidentally serged this edge. That's the edge I'm going to turn under and top stitch down, so it's just not necessary. That's the only reason I didn't do that. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to sew it with the pocket side up. So you'll notice that some of my denim has these crease lines in it, and I ordered this denim from Blackbird Fabrics, and with this non-stretch, unfinished denim that's, you know, indigo dyed, they have some really great tips on dealing with those little creases. I don't know if you can even see it. Do you want me to brighten that up, you guys? Let me know. They worked really well because those creases are kind of a pet peeve of mine. All right, I'm gonna sew this at 5/8. So because I added this pocket, it does change where the top stitching is going to happen. I'm going to make sure that's flat. I'm going to make sure this is flat. I could have edge stitched this down, you know. Would have been a nice little, you know, prep. I'm cutting it a little close right there. There we go. And so then, yeah, my little pocket flap's going to go right over. So it changes where this top stitch is right here. So on the pattern instructions, they have you push the seam allowances towards this middle panel and then top stitch it down like that. But that's going to decrease the inside of my pocket even more, so I'm going to press mine that way. Hi, Ida. Oh, right. Oh, right, Mullen, that's true. I was actually toying with the idea of making this Thursday one start an hour later, but I thought that might be kind of late for you guys. So I know Saturday it starts an hour later than this, but you know, it would, you know, then it would be consistent. It would be easier to remember, just 11 a.m. Pacific on both days. I was about to sew this. I'm so eager to see one of these finish that I just grabbed the side front. But now I'm having to like trim all these doohickeys here. Just forgive my eagerness here. Oops, it's this one that I need. Dang it. And then I can top stitch all of this. Yes, I do, Eileen, but it doesn't prevent this. Because see, what happens, this is where I started. So let's see. So I went like this, zoom, and came off. And then, you know, I could have taken this tail and trimmed it off, the one that was here. And then I turn it, I start again. And then, so I trimmed that one off, but I created this one. Zoom. And then I trimmed this one off. And then create this one. See? Yeah, me either, Nancy. I wish we'd just be done with it. They've ooched so close together now. It's like November and March. I don't understand why. The sun does not change. Like I don't understand why we need it. I've been a farmer. It didn't matter. We still got up when the sun was there. Does not matter what hour is on the clock when you work. You just have to work. That's just how it is. It's animals. You have to take care of animals. Okay. So let's see here. 5/8 inch seam allowance. I like this popcorn denim. It's got a really interesting texture. Do you guys want me to brighten it up a bit? Let me know. All right. So I should have done this on the other side so I could see this. Just want to make sure I catch it all in there. I'm going to flip it. Yeah, there we go. I want to make sure, you know? Ensure success, right? I'm a little narrow right here. I think it's partly because this fabric got shook up when I serged it, you know? Yeah, they've been talking about it, but I don't know who decides that, getting rid of it. You know what I mean? Like, who decides that, and why hasn't a decision been made? Let's just do it, you know? Who do we have to find out from? Like, why can't it just be gone? No, and it's not worldwide either. It is we even have two states that don't do it. Weirdly. This fabric is so different in weight. It's a little finicky, I'm not gonna lie. And you can see my serger has its seam on. So you see on my serger here, this stitch right here, that's unnecessary. I need to just unthread that needle. I mostly use my serger just to finish edges, not to sew seams. And that right there is also, it's just adding this extra layer of tension that pulls my serger together. And I feel like it would look a little nicer if I just clipped that thread. It would be so easy. I just keep forgetting to do it. And I'm just so used to having it there. But I don't need to sew seams. If I were sewing knits, I probably would keep it, but I would also make it so that the seam is right here, away from the serger, the overlocking. So, looking cute. Okay, I need to lighten that up. Why aren't you guys shouting at me? You can't see anything. You're like, yeah, sure, that looks great. Oh my gosh, can you see that? Do you want more? Hi, Christy. Yeah, exactly. Arizona's one of them. And is Hawaii the other one? Is that too bright, you guys? Really? Brooke, how do you know that? Is that just a rumor? I feel like I hear things like that, and I'm like, is it just a rumor? Don't get my hopes up. Yeah, I don't see, it must, the only thing I can think of is that it has something to do with banks. That's what I think. I think it has something to do with banks and the way money moves and stuff like that. I was always told as a kid that it was farmers. I don't think that. The lighting wasn't that bad. Is that too bright? Yeah, exactly, Ida. See, bad for international trade. Exactly. It's something to do with money. I'll bet that the stock market would lose a certain... Oh, that's right, Brooke. We did vote on that, and I definitely voted on that. That's not too bright? Okay. Yeah, I feel like the stock market would lose X amount of money with a change like that for some reason. I don't know. I don't understand finances. I just have a feeling that it's something like that that I know enough to know I don't know. You know what I mean? I know enough that I don't know enough about that. And that could be. So I'm going to tack this first. Make my life a little bit easier. So if I didn't line my fronts, that's what you would see. And I think that would be still cute, you know? Right, Brooke? The whole farmer thing is a myth. I totally agree with you. It is a myth. And I always imagine some corn farmer and, you know, somewhere in the Midwest going, why are you blaming this on us? We get up no matter what. Yeah, exactly, Ida. It's the same thing. Kids going to school in the dark. I just love all these myths about this. We need an expert. We have to Google. All right, let's see. This is this one right here. Oh, this fabric, no matter what this jacket looks like, it's just going to be cute because of the fabric. You know? It's one of those. You see, I'm wearing my Archer. I finally put the buttons on the other day. I had some time off, so I sat there and hand sewed my buttons on. That's awesome, Brooke. Yeah, so I don't understand who argues against it. That's what I want to know. Who argues against it? Is it a lobby? What's going on? So I didn't overlock the bottom here. I did here. Wait a minute. Did I just do this upside down? I could have done this upside down. Oh, I did do this upside down. Okay. So this is really confusing for me. It might not be for others, but the front is narrower at the top than the bottom. And because I serged the top yoke, I noticed that because I was like, wait, I know it was pretty good about serging the right one. Oh man, Nancy, that's a bummer. Right? Trick-or-treating. I know, like, yeah. Who decided this? I feel like I looked it up at one point and I've forgotten. You know, my puppy has no idea that the time changed. He's just like, cool, let's still get up early. Oh, really, Brooke? I'm not walking around. Okay, close your eyes. It's denim. I can do that. It's not going to hurt anything. Just got to get rid of all the threads. It creates a little bit more threads that I don't have control over. All right. I'm so glad I caught that because my jacket would have been... So this might mean... Okay, wait. This means that I sewed this one in upside down too, right? I can't tell. Nope, this is okay. This is okay. I know I serged one of these. I'm just making sure. Let's make sure. Let's make sure. Let's make sure. Yeah, that's fine. Phew. Exactly. Yeah, because if you're going by your clock and you're milking animals, it does. It really puts a lot of stress on milking animals. And I don't know about other animals, like that would happen too, but I know for firsthand, the animals are like, I needed to be milked an hour ago. Yeah, they're like, we're still here waiting. Why is this not serged right here? Did I just do that backwards again? What's going on here? Okay, I've got something wrong. I've got something wrong here. This pattern piece is that. Is that notched right there? I can't see it. Or is it supposed to be like this? That's, okay, yeah. This is, but it's not, yep. No, it's not notched there. Okay, so this is the front. Okay, that's correct. So why isn't this serged right here? Okay, let's check this one. Let's make sure I'm doing this right, you guys, right now, before I top stitch it. So this one needs to be right side up. It's the right piece there. I think I just serged the wrong edge here. I need to go serge this. I'll be right back. How did I do that? Weird. Oh, you got a jean jacket. Cool. That's cool. I was just laughing about jean jackets with my dad the other day because when my mom met my dad, I was about 12 years old. No, I was younger than 12. Sorry, they got married when I was 12. So I was probably about 10, you know, or something like that. And he had a Levi's jean jacket with the shearling on the inside, you know, the like fake sheepy fuzz. And he had the matching little hat with the flaps and everything. And, you know, he lived in the high desert and it was, you know, cool at night and whatever. And he kind of liked that mountain man style. And I was so mortified by this jean jacket and hat. And, you know, when he escaped the fire, that's the jacket he grabbed. And I remember it was one of the first things he said. He's like, why did I bring this jacket? I just bought a new jacket. Why did I bring this one? And I remember thinking right off the bat that I was glad he had. Like, even though as a kid that jacket embarrassed me, it's still very nostalgic for me. And I remember when he showed up in it, I actually thought, I'm so glad he grabbed that jacket. Isn't that weird? And he, you know, he was like, shoot, why did I grab this old thing? But it is like, I don't know how old that thing is. It is 30 years old or more. It was pretty funny. They didn't bring much. He grabbed his old natty jacket, the one he does blacksmithing in. It had shoulder pads, Nancy. Yours? Oh, shoot. Yeah, it's really hard to make a jacket that had shoulder pads look normal without them, you know? Ooh, this popcorn denim texture it's so good, you guys. I know it's probably hard for you to see. All right, I'm going to top stitch all this. And then I'm going to do the yoke seam, and I'm going to put in the welt pockets, which I'm nervous to do, like most of you might understand over. I practiced one yesterday, and it went totally fine. It was really easy. It's a really interesting way they have you do it. I will admit, I'm not really thrilled with what the piece that leaves on the inside of the jacket is. So I'm doubly glad I'm kind of lining the inside. I mean, you wouldn't see this piece, but I ended up overlocking all the edges of it because I was like, huh. All right, so I'm going to adjust my tension. Yeah, I'm going to adjust it that much. I am cranking, you guys. That is so, I wish I would have done that before. I was looking at my last ginger jeans and I was like, oh, my top stitching thread is really, there's no stretch, yeah, is really showing. Okay, so this looks so cute. Okay, I'm gonna top stitch it. So a really good note, if anyone's sewing this along, this would be a really excellent time to put in the buttonhole of your pocket flap right now, or right after you top stitch it. Yeah, because putting it in after the jacket's gonna be made is not gonna be fun. I've done that before. It's not my favorite. I wanted to have my machine set up to do that, but like I said, this ended up taking a lot of prep. I'm going with the yellow because I love yellow and red and blue together. Looks pretty cute. I know, it's so funny, Ida. You know, no, I think it's just a quirk. When they say jeans, they're usually talking about pants. And I think it's because it's a weird thing that we think of pants as plural, as more than one, but they're not. It is just one pair of pants. But a pair of jeans is what you would say as well. And then, yeah, jean jacket refers to the fact that it's jeans, the jean fabric. So jeans can be a pair of pants. Jean is a pair, is the fabric. So jean jacket is also like saying denim jacket. That might be a better way to look at it. That's a good catch. I like that you noticed that. I'm trying to make sure I'm right over that point. I don't think I am. What do you guys think? You think that's too much? 2 rows? Yeah, exactly, Nancy. Nancy caught on what you're asking right away. Get this point a little better. Does anyone have a point turner? How do those work? I'm not really thinking about getting one because I really like I know how to use my awl, you know. Oh, I got really close to the edge on that one. I think the saving grace when you get, you're stitching like that's the, okay, so this is a good point. Okay, so you see how bad I did right there? I think because it's going to be on the denim, it's less noticeable. You see that? Isn't that funny? So you could kind of, okay, 2 rows for sure. Cool. You could kind of, you know, let it go. I'm not going to. I'm sorry. I'm going to put you through my seam ripper. Get your tea out or your tequila, whatever you're doing today. The seam ripper is out. I didn't use the seam ripper when I pulled out that one seam, did I? I just ripped it apart. I robbed you guys. Ooh, that's nice, Nancy. I actually would have used red if I had it, but all I had was like a dark orange. Different than the ones I used on my gingers. It was more like a, let me see. It didn't quite match. And I also don't think I have enough of it because I have these smaller spools. If you ever buy top stitching thread, you guys, don't buy the small spool. I know it might cost a little more. It would be the worst if you ran out, you know? And you use quite a bit. Okay. So are you guys sewing? Are you working? What are you guys doing? So jealous that you're still drinking coffee. I don't drink as much on Thursdays. So I am thinking about making this a 3-part, and then I might not stream for a week and a half while I move. I started to realize that moving and streaming was a little too much on my brain. So you might not see me. I'll let you know once I schedule my moving. So there we go. No problem, right? Let's do it right this time. So much of top stitching depends on your stitch length because your needle might not get the right distance away from the edge where you want to pivot, you know? And so it's a tricky balance. And you can adjust where your needle goes, but that can be tricky too. And it can also lead to your stitches looking different lengths. And if you're being really picky, that might bug you. There we go. I need a drink of water. Sorry, guys. Oh, have you done that, Nancy? I've done that too. I wouldn't use 2 strands of the cones that I use, but regular thread you buy at the fabric store, I think that would totally work. It does. I have tried. It's been a long time since I did it. So, all right. So I'm going to top stitch my seams here. When I'm top stitching, just so you know, a 3-step stitch. I don't know what that is. We won't tell Christy. I'm looking right here. So when I'm stitching, I'm not looking here. I'm not looking here. I'm looking right here because I'm trying to keep my presser foot where I want my spacing to be. So I'm just literally staring at where the presser foot is. I always use that mountain bike analogy. You know, look where you want your tire to go, not where you want your tire not to go. I'm really excited that I'm finally doing a Seamwork pattern. I'm gonna start browsing there. Ooh! Do I get rid of that? So here's a good thing. I'm reading your things. Oh man, your daughter signed you. 3-step stitch. I don't know what that is. Does it go 2 steps forward, then 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back? Because I think mine does have that. Okay, so you know how I said that the top stitching would normally be right here, not on these pieces? So that changed the dynamic of my pocket. So if you probably weren't here right now, I'd probably go and recut my flaps and make it so that they were the width of this, so that the top stitching lined up. I kind of want to do that, and I might do that now that I told you. And I'm going to, so if I do that, it might cover that up too. To do that, I have a back tack right there. I'm going for the back tack. It's going to bug me either way. I'm not a big fan of where these pockets sit on people. It seems a little high. No, leave it. Oh, well, I already cut it. You mean leave my pocket flaps or the, I can leave the pocket flaps. But, and it's partly why I wanted to do a different under pocket fabric, because I wanted it to be lighter weight and I wanted to be able to pull the flap in, because I'm kind of hoping to prevent the wingy flap on my bosom. You know, I don't really want to accentuate my bosom. And the model in the original Audrey Jacket picture isn't very busty. Go figure. And I didn't notice it until I started looking at the hashtag, you know, and seeing how it fit on people. Okay. I'm gonna fix my top stitching. Yeah, you would. Yeah, it's smaller. Yeah, I think I will. Sorry, guys. Might need more there. I'm gonna pull it to this side. Get that thread going to the back. All right, let me go get some fabric. I'll be right back. And where's my pocket flap? Okay, here's my pocket flap. So I want it, maybe if I just didn't do the seam allowance. Yeah, that's all I need to do. I'm just gonna recut these and not do the seam allowance, you know what I mean? I'll be right back. Entertain each other. All right. Yep, I threw them in the trash. Yeah, right, Eileen, that's my first one. It does, I know. Okay, so I got all the fabric. This is all I have left of this fabric, so I may end up with... Oh no, I don't have to be off grain. I think I can make this work. It's close. I'm gonna iron this. I found that, so this is my washed denim. You can see some of the creases, and I found it, if I followed their instructions and ironed from the back side, that it really got rid of it, and it got rid of the crease on the front. And they say if you do that when your fabric's still damp in from the washing machine, that it'll actually help it even more. I've been good, Eileen. How about you? So let me iron this real quick. And then we'll cut these out. I have to have my weight on here. So we'll just use a smaller seam allowance when I go to sew these. I think that'll do the trick. But here you go. This is a good thing I did not think of. I did think about the top stitching, but I didn't think about how the flap then wouldn't line up. So let me be your guinea pig. Cut off. There we go. It's hard to cut like that. I'm going to cut these individually. I've got a little cut in fabric right there, trying to avoid. Maybe I'll just include the serging here. So this is one of those moments, Nancy, where my seam allowance is going to creep out over there. Because it's on, there's straight lines to go by, it won't be so bad to figure out where I need to go. There's one. It is, Nancy. That's why I think they call it popcorn denim. It is got this like unique texture on it. And when I saw it, I was like, I don't know about that. Like I could either love that or hate that, and I love it. When I saw it, I was like, I want to do the jean jacket. It just popped into my head. I like that it won't look like a traditional jean jacket because it is a pretty traditional silhouette, which I like. You know? Okay. I missed a lot of spots there, didn't I? Okay, so I need to iron these and then iron my... I need a little rotating mat. So what I was going to tell you guys, I don't know if you can hear me really well, but when I went to cut out my pattern pieces, I cut it on the denim, and it was a little wrinkly like you saw right now. And a few of them I ended up ironing before I cut, and I noticed what a big difference it made. So then I went back and I ironed all of my pieces that I had already cut out. And I found that a lot of them were more than 1/8 of an inch off. So I went back and I trimmed them all. That's partly why it took me a little longer. Wait, I'm going to turn on the steam. I didn't have the steam on for this. The steam helps a lot with the denim wrinkles. It's not quite hot enough yet. This is my interfacing for the center front piece. All right, take 2. It's been fun. Like I'm like nervous about planning the new setup because, you know, just it's all new, right? Like I don't know about the internet there, which I've worked really hard on, but I haven't tested it. And I really want a pattern area for you guys to be able to see. So I think what I need is a new table. I'm trying to use everything that I already have, and then kind of get the hang of being there before I like purchase anything new and more cameras. But I think I can do it because I can be out in the middle of the room. All right, let me get rid of that. And this. Here we are. Oh, you know what? I need to stop clipping my top stitch thread. I don't want to run out. Yeah, you guys are all about my cubbies. I know. And you know, it's like, it's weird because it's obviously a big feature of that space. It wasn't a deciding thing for me because I've had spaces with lots of cubbies and they can be a blessing and a curse. And I feel like I'm diminishing how cool they are every time you guys mention it. But it's really because I just don't know. Like, they're a very fixed size, you know? My, oh, I know why. My thread won't even get, my tension is so tight, it's not going between the discs. That's right. I got to uncrank my tension from the top stitching. All right, let's see here. Little setbacks, but worth it, right? All right, so my seam allowance is going to be, I'm just going to look at it. See what it's going to be. I think I want to make it like 3/8 of an inch. That's what I'm going to try. So if you're trying this, you can see. Yeah, those cubbies are really cool. I counted them up. 451 cubbies. No idea why it's an odd number, but... So I'm going to check it before I turn it. So I think I could be a little bit less, especially this side, I get a little wiggly. Yeah, I think that could work. It could probably be a little bit more. I said a little less, but I meant a little bit more. But I'm going to account for when I turn it right side out, the fabric it'll take up on the sides maybe. I may be overestimating that, but we'll see. Let's try it out. Yeah, and I think I'll fill a lot of the top cubbies with things I will never need. The ladder is really cool, but I don't really think I need to, you know, put stuff up there. I'm going to do this one a little straighter. Okay, I'm just going to trim the corners. I'm going to trim this a little bit. Just make it a little neater. So I just trimmed at the corners there. I'm going to turn this corner one more time. There's nothing like trimming a corner so close that the threads can pop through. They were too small because I added this pocket right here. It didn't come with the pattern. Hi, Olivia. Welcome. So, but when I did that, I also decided to top stitch on this side of the seam. In the instructions, you're supposed to top stitch on this middle panel. And if I had done that, the pocket flap would have lined up with the stitching. But see, right now it doesn't. So if I wanted to line that up like that, I'm like that much off. That's why. That's all. Because I did this mod. And you know what? We're going to put so much work into this jacket. It's worth doing these little things to make it look a little nicer. This was an easy fix, you know? Like, really, I delight in doing something when it's an easy fix. It's like, oh, cool, I want to do that because it's an easy fix, you know? Make the flaps again? Great, that was actually fun to do. If the welt pockets don't go so well, then we have another situation on our hands. But the way you sew the welt pockets on this is, it's pretty much a no-brainer. It really is. I'm not like... I know, you guys, I know the fear we all have with welt pockets. I share that fear. I don't sew those on the regular, so I'm out of practice. There was a time in my life where everything I wanted had a freaking welt pocket on it, especially pants. You know, there weren't jean patterns out there for women when I was sewing, you know what I mean? So there was trouser patterns and pant patterns, and they all had a freaking back welt pocket. And you know what was really in vogue not in vogue in a style and fad and fashion way in the world, but in the sewing world, it was very in vogue to do bound buttonholes, which basically is a mini welt as a buttonhole. Look them up. And that was very indicative of your sewing level if you did bound buttonholes like on a tailored jacket. I have never seen anyone on Instagram post a picture of a bound buttonhole. So it's just different trends, you know what I mean? So I did a couple of bound buttonholes in my time, but I never did a whole like jacket with it. To get like 8 perfect bound buttonholes on one jacket, that's the stuff of skill, you know? So I did get better at my welt pockets, and I perfected those and everything, and then I haven't sewn them in 10, 15 years, so you got it, Malin. I'll bet that if that's the Jessica, I think you're doing the Jessica, right? I'll bet that they have designed that for success. They really need you to be successful on that blazer. So that's always a really good sign. And they're good at doing their patterns. So I think you have nothing to worry about. I have faith. I know you can do it. I'm cranking down my tension because of my top stitch, but I'm going to check it on something first. My machine's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You just cranked down the tension all the way. Bring it on, lady. And it worked like a dream. Sounds different, that's all. Is my tip good there? I feel like it's not all the way out. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to trim my, and I can tell, I forgot to trim my under pocket piece. I love the look of the bound buttonholes too. Not enough to make them. Yes, exactly, Eileen. That's also a really common thing to do. And I think that one of the denim makers, the custom denim people, does that. They're nice because they're closer to the body than a coin pocket. I don't like coin pockets because they catch on things. Mainly because we sew them, we're sewing those jeans in a stretch denim, and so the coin pocket kind of gets wingy. Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, you got this. I know it, Malin. I know it. Is that course in the fall? I feel like they were promoting it for the fall, but I've been seeing a lot of people say they got it, so I guess I was confused. Can you hear my machine? It's like, it definitely notices the tension's different. Okay, I'm in an awkward spot to turn. I don't like doing that. There we go. Let's see. I should have checked one before I kept going. Aw, that's so much better, you guys. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm gonna run some top stitching across here. Or just so top stitch it down. Okay, let's top stitch this one here. So yeah, so the pattern instructions would have you put the seam allowances towards this middle panel and then top stitch, and that's why I make the pocket flaps a little lighter. Contrary to really what I want is that I don't really want those pocket flaps to be wider. By the way they look on people, but I'm not going to change all the rest of these pattern pieces. I don't have enough fabric for that. I'm not going to make you guys wait for me to change it all. I'm tempted right now. Here's a strategy, you guys. Oh, the video course. Oh, cool. Oh, so I just got that weird month thing wrong. I was kind of surprised. I was like, why are they promoting this in the fall? So anyone making this, future people, I would recommend not top stitching this panel right now, putting your welt pocket in right now. Then if your welt pocket goes okay, pushing your pocket out of the way and then doing your top stitching. And the only reason I say that is it gives you a backup plan. If your welt doesn't go well and you're like, I don't like this, and you can cut those pieces out, you can cut this piece out and then reattach it. You know, it's a good backup plan. And I would probably have done that if I'd thought that sooner. I really like backup plans. They really take the stress out of it. The less stressed I am, the better I sew. That one looked wiggly. Okay, and when I made my this is a good example. Can you see this curve right here happening? This slight bust curve, which we want that there. When I made this lined front pattern pieces, I taped these two pattern pieces together and then cut that out as one piece of lining, and then I cut one of these out as lining, and that's my lining. That's all I did. So, yeah, I know, Eileen, you don't have to. I really like Instagram because it's visual, and I feel like that's really helpful. I really love being able to, I'm sure you heard of hashtags, and hashtags are really great resource for fitting, like picking something that might fit your body style, and seeing how other people have sewn things. I feel like it can be a bit of a rabbit hole, but for me, I just get on and off, you know, like I kind of set my limit. It's really easy to get down a rabbit hole on there, especially when you start looking at hashtags that lead you to other hashtags and accounts and things, or your mom sends you cute, you know, puppy videos or whatever. Okay, there we go. So see, when my 5/8 inch seam allowance is taken up right there, that's going to be my pocket opening right there. So let's see, I don't think my phone will fit in there. See, it's a little tight, but I have a pretty big phone. It looks cute. I love this. It almost looks like the wrong side of the denim, even though that's the wrong side. Okay, so let's see here. Let me get my welt pocket going here. We're just going to, oh, I could do my yoke seam. I'm not going to do my yoke seam because I don't want to sew it in top stitch thread, so I'm going to do that after my my pockets. I do have a little bit of trimming to do. And there's my lining pieces. I'll move that down there. You here. Move you and you. There we go. We're ready. So you have a welt. You have the welt pocket lining, and then you have the welt pocket facing. And actually what I'm going to do right now is I want to see where this lines up. If I were to lay this like this, does it line up? And it doesn't. I'm kind of curious because I want an easy way to mark my my pocket lining, my pocket, this opening here. I'm looking for a cheating way to do it. So it lines up at the bottom. There we go. So it lines up at the bottom, and then it's about 5/8 inch from the side. So that's how I know how to do that. Great. Because then I'm only going to mark it on this piece, and then I'm going to just line it up at the bottom there. You have a lot of strange followers. It's about to get... I blocked the strange followers too, Malin. When I started the SewSew account, I don't know what was up, but I got a lot of like men, not sewing related men. And I thought, what the heck? I just like blocked them. Which, you know, I feel bad if they were sewing related, but they were just so overtly not looking sewing related, you know, that I just blocked them. And I will admit to you guys, I have a gaming Instagram account that I like to follow gamers on. I keep it separate from everything. And so it could be from that. And I think also the biggest culprit is the YouTube thing. and sometimes I'll tag Twitch. That right there, it just comes up in the Explorer for people, and there it happens. Because I will get streamers, gaming streamers, following me and asking for a follow back. And I'm like, yeah, you're not really interested in what I'm doing. So, you know. But you can just be private, Eileen. You know? Oh, sorry. Don't block me. You can just be private. Learn how to use it. Get comfortable with it. And then once you want to be like showing people what you're doing, then you can be public. No one says you need to show everything. I follow a lot of people follow me that don't post at all. But I can tell they're sewists, you know, so by, you know, whatever their name is or their bio. All right, look at these long. Sorry I didn't do this before stream, you guys. I'm just cinching up all these little threads. I don't have a great way to do this. This is what I do. This is what someone in a factory told me once, and this is what I do now. So I cut it, I pull it to tighten it up, and then I trim that little tail as well. So see, I cut kind of close, pull all these threads. I just pull them all. One always gets the longest. Trim it again. I didn't trim all the edges because they get caught in the waistband seam. So I don't need to. Yeah, as long as you have men with half shirts on. Sometimes, Nancy. And sometimes they will DM me. Like they'll send me a direct message. My husband blames me that he gets all this like these very busty cosplay accounts in his Explorer. I'm like, I don't follow cosplay. I don't know why you're getting that. It's something else you're doing. I think it's really the gaming thing. There's a lot of cosplay in the gaming world, which is actually really cool. I follow one account, but they are it's Cosplay Wow, and what they do is they kind of curate a cosplay feed where they post other people's creations, but they're always picking the one that's the tamest. Because then I'll be like, wow, that sewing is amazing. Like the sewing in cosplay, you guys, it's incredible. And I'll go to that account and then I'm like, holy heck, this is borderline inappropriate. So I don't follow anybody with the cosplay. Wow. So maybe I am tainting his feed. Okay, so this is my waistband seam. Let's look at this pattern piece here. I don't like how all these pattern pieces are really similar. Once I've finished my edges, I can't tell where the notch is, you know? I know you're not, technically most people don't pre-finish their edges, but I do like it when I can tell a pattern piece without having to get the pattern piece out. These all look, okay, so this is how this goes, like this. The denim is a lot easier. And this is how this goes here. Okay. And then I'm not going to use the markings on that, but I am going to use the markings on here. And where is my little chalk marker? There it is. So what I'm going to do, I'm sure there are better ways to do this, so I'm sorry I'm doing this very clunky. But I'm just going to make it so I can trace around it. I'm making the size 10, so I'm folding it on the size 10. I'm actually going to do one side of it, and that's it. One side, and then I'm going to use the ruler for the rest. But I'm going to try and get this really straight. I don't have like secret techniques, you guys. I just do what makes sense that I know will work, you know? They really are, Nancy. It's really cool. So I just folded along that. I lined up my edge here, right? Ensure success. I'm going to do one leg. The thing is, I don't actually need this. I need it on here. This is the only piece you really need, you know? Okay, I'm going to It's a 4.5 inch opening. It's a very small opening. With the seam allowance, it's going to be like 4.5 plus 1.25 inches. That's a pretty small pocket opening, just so you guys know. Usually standard is 5 inches, and it's about 5.25. All right, we have some more trimming to do. So I finished all these edges because, like I said, I wasn't a big fan of how much of this is left on the inside of the jacket. I don't really want to deviate from the pattern so much. I actually really respect the pattern drafting at Seamwork because they are the founders of Colette. There's a lot of things about this pattern that I could tell right off the bat. They know what they're doing, and I really respect that. And I feel like they designed this welt with the thing in mind that people are nervous to do welts, you know? So I'm not going to change the way they did it just because I don't like the way it finishes on the inside. Because what do we all like? We like a really good finished garment that we're going to wear, that we successfully sewed, and it's going to look great on the outside, and that's what matters to me. I don't need to be picky about something just because I'm a pattern nerd and I'm like, how could I do that differently? I don't need to reinvent it, you know? So I'm going to do it the way they do it because it is pretty darn clever. All right, so here I'm going to do my little tracing thing again. And why I say that, in fact, actually I want to do it on this side. Why I say that you only need it on this one is because this is the pattern piece that's face up when you go to do it. And this is your welt. It finishes your opening and it creates your welt. 1/2 inch opening of the welt. And then I think this is, 1/2 inch from the side. So you could just measure it from the sides rather than trying to get this little rectangle identical. Just measure from the outside edges of the pattern piece. Yeah, that's great, Nancy. I love this little choco liner. I sometimes just rush forward. like I need to tell you guys this. I sometimes rush forward in my projects and get a little ahead of myself. So I really like the flexibility of the chalk, but I can take it off. Okay, so there's one, and then I'm going to mark my other one right now while I'm here. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. It goes that direction. I'm concentrating, sorry guys. 4.5. Okay, that I just need that as a rough area. I actually don't need to be too meticulous. I just need to make sure I'm putting this in the same spot like that. Okay. And then you put your, okay, let's be methodical. I'm going to do my right front first, right here, because I know that this is, yeah, wrong side. Let's see, wait. Right side together. It's this one. Remember, I lined it up on the edge. Remember, I figured it out, and it's about 5/8 of an inch away, just like that. This one will be like here, like that. We'll deal with that in a minute. All right, let's do it. Oh, let's change our thread. I'm gonna unthread my machine and conserve my top stitching thread. Give Maybe I'll just, no, I'm gonna redo it all. There's so much top stitching on this jacket that I don't want to waste any of my top stitching thread right now. I feel like these spools have about one good garment in them and then a bit more. And I can tell I've used this spool. This is the worst thing to thread on my machine, is I have to go from back to front. Here we go. It's not hard to thread my machine, but there is a lot of threading on it. You know, like you don't just like hook, 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 hook like that. Like my home machine is like two seconds maybe. And sometimes it's good, even if you cut your thread and pull it through a lot, like I do, like you guys see me do that all the time. It's good to actually thread your machine once in a while. Even if you're like, how could any of it have gotten off kilter? But it does. Like, it'll get through your tension discs in a different spot. And if you saw my old industrial machine, you could see a groove in my tension disc where the thread went through. Hello, Amelia. How you doing? My nose is itchy today. Sorry. Yeah, so I've already got my fronts together, and my mods are that I made this a real pocket. And so the top stitching is on these two pieces, not here. And so it's caught on the sides. Oh, I didn't catch it right there. Good thing I'm lining the front, and I'm lining the front. So I'm about to do the Welt pocket. Wish me luck. All right, so all you do here, pretty sure I do this right side. I'm going to look at the instructions really quick to make sure that this is right side to that. Because I'm so nervous that I'm like, okay, put on my thinking cap here. Yeah, so it goes, here we are, we're on page 16. Right sides together, wrong sides together, and pocket markings that match the Welt pocket lining to the same front. Okay, so I want the wrong side together. Yeah. Okay, good thing I looked. Need my other one. There we go. It'll all be clear in a minute. I'm lining up my edge down there because I figured that out. We'll line up these pocket markings, and then you're just going to sew around in a box. I always do my stop on one of the long edges. I'm not even going to back stitch until I get to the end. I'm going to do slightly shorter stitch length. This is your pocket opening. Be careful. You really want it to be straight and symmetrical. I'm going to go around again because they recommend doing that if you're doing denim. Just make sure you get right on where you were before. Otherwise it gets really tricky when we go to the next step when we're clipping. Alright, and so I'm going to get my cutting started with my seam ripper here. You could use your rotary knife too. You're holding your breath. Don't hold your breath. It's going to be fine. Okay, now I'm going to cut, just like in the illustration on the pattern markings, how there's like a little triangular piece right here. These Y's. You're going to go right up, all the way up to that stitching, you guys. All the way up. Don't be shy. This is the critical part where you want your corners. And because I'm doing denim, which most of us would here, it is going to not be the crispest corner. You're already kind of setting yourself up for that. So you want to get right up there, but don't go through your stitching. Otherwise you have a bigger pocket opening than you planned because you have to re-sew your whole box to encase that. Okay, there we go. So all the way through. And now this goes inside like this. Like this. This is where it's really feels wrong and it's pretty fussy. But you're gonna let it know who's boss right now. I'm gonna start telling it, this is what I want you to do now. You are now a nice square opening. So you see it, this wants to flip there. We're gonna top stitch it all down. Pretty sure we top stitch it down, and then this is how you create your welt. You go like that. Just like that. That's all you do. See? So let's read the directions. So I do it exactly the way they tell you guys. I found the directions a little bit confusing, and I think it's because my brain kept trying to jump ahead. Okay? Yeah, this is a really different Olivia. I've never done one like this before, and that's why I'm going to follow the instructions so that if anyone wants to follow this and do the Audrey Jean Jacket, it's the same for you as it is here. So that's why I'm consulting it. I want to make sure I do it the way you're supposed to. So I have done this. I have done this. Let's see. So through all layers, if you're using rigid denim or canvas, stitch over these lines twice to secure the seam. I did that. Cut the pocket markings. That's right there. To cut just to the corner, do not cut through the stitch lines. Fold the welt to the inside front, the pocket opening. So I've folded it into here. Really, you're not folding it, you're turning it into the inside. Press the seams in place to create a rectangular pocket opening. Maybe I'll sew my other one so I can press those at the same time. And now you press the welt towards the side seam. This is where I got confused. You press the welt towards the side seam. Yep, so there we go, like that. Press the seam allowance of the pocket open. So I'm going to press this open here. I'm going to fold the welt toward the front up to this line right here to the opening of your rectangle. And then fold the pocket away. This is where, okay, fold the front and welt pocket lining away from the welt to expose the triangular portion. Okay, and then you're going to sew across these edges down here. You're going to pull all that away. Basically, what's R? Is R the, okay, yeah, so this is R. Okay. I'm just reading through it, guys. Okay, reach in the front, neatly press along the pocket, edge stitch around the pocket. Okay, so I edge stitch once I've done all that. And then you're going to bar tack across the shirt ends, okay? All right. So I'm going to sew the other one so that I can press all this at the same time. Is that a plan? We're still doing good here, right? All right, so let's see. We want to line this up. This is how I figured this out by just laying the pattern piece. I just want this about 5/8 inches from the edge. Line this up like this, and then flip it. That way you're not trying to draw this box on all your pattern pieces and try and stack them up perfectly. It might bug you, you know, if you do that. All right, wait, is it the short side towards the side seam? Yeah, short side towards the side seam like that. Okay, short side meaning this. And then I'm going to stack this up best I can. I'm actually going to, I can see this is a little wider here than here. I'm going to like do this. I'm going to sew like more like here. I want more here. I don't want less, you know? I can't find my ruler. All right, so this down here is fine, but I just want to camp that a little bit there. There we go. Here we go. Oh, I really want my back tack to be down on the leg, the long leg, not at the corners. You don't want to do that, you know? Pivot. I know I got that a little crooked. It's because I started following my old line. So good thing we're double stitching it. gives us this opportunity to kind of correct the wonkiness I just created, because it'll be on the inside. My machine really wants to grab that old stitch though and stay on it. See, it still wanted to do that. I think when it does things like do that, it's because like the twill has its little grain it's pulling. The machine feels the old stitch. It kind of does want to do its own thing sometimes. So you gotta tell it, this is what I want you to do. All right, I'm gonna get my little cut going with just a little tip of my seam ripper. You can use your rotary knife so it's straight down. This doesn't matter how long this is, this triangle. But, you know, I think a stubbier triangle is better, because if you have a really long, narrow point and when you go to pull that triangle out of the way to when you do your edge stitching, the tip might fall off, you know, might pull right off. So that's why I say just stick with their original thing and do it nice stubby triangle rather than a long pointy triangle. I don't know, I'm not an expert in welts, but that would be my sewing logic. My experience with ravelly fabrics like denim. Denim is very ravelry. Okay, there we go. So you notice I get it going towards the point, but I finish with the tips of my scissors. I really don't want to go through my stitching. I have done that on a welt, and I think I recovered once from doing that by accident. And the other time it ruined it. Because what you then have to do is make your welt pocket a little bigger than you planned. And if you don't adjust all your pattern pieces and everything, or say you have a left back pocket and a right back pocket and one slightly longer, it's a rookie thing to do, but not so rookie because it's so easy to your scissors to just go straight through, you know. All right, so I feel like this one I didn't get quite to the corner. I'm just gonna double check here. Between the pen marking and my stitching, I'm getting a little confused on what's what. I should have stuck with the chalk there. All the way up there. Okay, and then pull it through. This is when they say fold the welts inside. What they mean is just pull it through to the back. Pull it through. All right, and then we're going to iron it. I'm gonna let it know who's boss here. I'm gonna pull. Pull. Don't be shy about this, you guys. You have to. You'll get a nice crisp, more chance of a crisp rectangle if you really pull that right there. See that? It's looking good so far. This is the easy part of the welt. This is the part where I'm like, wow, this is going great. No problem. It's the next part when you're creating the actual welt in there. Because a traditional welt pocket, I'll tell you why this is so different from others, is a traditional welt pocket has you sew in the welt into the seam here. So it's a separate little piece, and you do it at the same time as this, like on the Tamarack jacket, like that. That's a little bit more traditional. Theirs is actually pretty easy to sew as well. Okay, so I'm gonna iron that real quick. I'm excited. It's very thick. I'm gonna iron it from the right side so I can really see what it's gonna look like. I feel like that's the more important side. And I'm gonna iron that right there. Pull start pulling my little triangles on the end. I'll show you guys just a second. Okay, so here's the start of one. Let me press this one. Pull my triangles. I'm almost done. Okay. Are you still breathing, Nancy? Okay, so that's what it looks like once you've ironed it. So what I did was I pressed this longer piece towards the side seam. This is the side seam. And then you press the seam open there. I found this a little confusing in the directions, but then when I just now was doing it, I was like, oh, I see what they mean. Press the seam you just sewed open. Don't worry about the other two layers. So I put one layer towards this and two that way. I'm not sure what would be, maybe you could do, you know, because it's 3 layers. So it's like, which two do I put one way, which way do I go the other way, you know? So I just did one that way. And then you fold it back where you line up this fold with the opening right there. Okay, and then now you see I have these little puckers. I'm going to pull those triangles. Here's my triangle that I cut. I'm going to pull it that way. I'm going to pull all these layers, and then we're going to get it nice and crisp. Best I can, you know? Because usually this would be sewn into this seam right here. So it's kind of a cheater welt. That's why you're kind of set up to succeed here. All right, so now let's see, I think now is when I do my end top stitching, right? And they fold this other edge over too. This edge right here, like that. I'm not sure I will. I think I feel like it lays flatter like that because I serged it. I'm gonna leave it like that. Right? Yeah, I think that's what I'm looking at there. Yeah, so I'm going to sew my side seams and I'm going to top stitch it. Not my side seams, sorry. I'm going to sew the little end seams with the triangles. Oh, good, Nancy, I'm glad. I like the cutting part. I'm going to do this from, like, with the front up top here so I can kind of control it a little bit. I'm going to pull these layers. Because, see, I don't really like that pucker right there, and it's this one right here. So, see, if I pull that, I want that fold to line up there. I'm trying to get all these like edges stacked up on themselves. Let's see. I hope this you really kind of want to be careful about because if you have to re-sew this or take out the seam, it does get a little dicey in there, you know. I have definitely had to do that several times and it's like, oh. So like I don't like this seam right here showing right here. So I'm going to pull on this right here like that. So I would just experiment, pull on different things to see what happens till you get the effect you're looking for. You see these little white things are my popcorn pieces, but you could get that if you sewed it and then had to take it out. You would get a similar effect in a negative way. At least I know that that's my popcorn right now, you know. I'm going to use my awl too. I'm going to kind of pull this over like that. I'm gonna pull this, I'm gonna pull this, I'm gonna go right over that. And of course my needle came unthreaded, so I'm gonna say that that's the sewing fairy trying to tell me that I'm about to sew something bad, so I'm gonna check it again. I respect the sewing fairy. I can't even thread my needle. There we go. There we go. All right, let's look at that again. Do I want this out of the way? No, I do want this out of the way. I want just the welt. Okay, okay. Come on, fairy. Help me out here. If I stitch right there, is that what... Yeah, I mean, I am getting kind of a pucker there. I don't like this pucker I'm getting right there. I feel like I can fix it when I go to top stitch it, but you can't really bank a whole lot on your top stitching. It's because this is not as thick as this. That is exactly why that pucker is happening. Because see, look, it's not, it's just that seam, you know? So maybe it would be better to press the thicker, like 2 layers this way. Let's see if, would that help or would that make it worse? I think that would actually make it worse. I'm not sure. All right, well, I'm still gonna try. Still gonna try. I don't want it to get too tired, you know, for me sitting here fiddling around with it. I'm gonna pull all these layers, pull, pull, pull. Try not to catch any of these folds you're pulling out of the way. You just want to get those edges there, like that. Let me get rid of all these threads here. I'm dying to check. I'm sure you are too. Still getting that tuck there. I feel like that's the seam right here wanting to creep under. It's just not thick enough. All right, so let's pull this one now. So I kind of learned that I need to pull all these layers. I want to try and line these up. I feel like that's the best chance of it looking the best. And getting the seam right on top of it. You know, it's kind of like when you think about stacking it, you know, stacking your seam, you don't want this seam to kind of pull this way, right? You want it to be right on top of itself, you know, like right on top. And so that is a lot of what's happening there. It actually looks pretty good. I think once I do top stitch it, it will help. But I'm not a big fan of that, and it's because I want this to do that. I want this seam to be right on top. That's my welt pocket, and it's small, you guys. Make yours bigger. That's gonna bug me. When it's on me, it'll be easier, but just saying, you might want to make yours a 1/2 inch bigger. Make this piece a 1/2 inch bigger. Make your opening a 1/2 inch bigger. Make this a 1/2 inch taller. Just do it. You'll be happier. All right, let's do these triangles here. Okay, so I feel like the best way to look at this is these folded pieces is to line up all the edges on top of themselves. Pull your triangle. And you stitch right across that triangle. That. Same with this side. I didn't get too close to the edge there, so hopefully that worked. That looks okay. See, now I'm getting that tuck. I didn't have that a second ago, and now I have it. That one I'm taking out. This one's that's, I think I folded this a little too far. So wish me luck here. This actually isn't too hard to take out because of the way this welt is constructed. You can see where your stitches are. So that's kind of nice. There's a benefit. I'm gonna iron this a little bit better. Wait, you need to take out a little bit more right here. There we go. That was it. Get rid of my threads. I think I folded it too far over. Maybe that would be a good way to prevent that. Let's see. So what I did just now was I moved this fold a little bit that way. I feel like it was going a little bit too far this way. And I kind of looked at it from here. Like that looks really nice, but that's the one that's stitched and this one isn't yet. So hopefully that'll look good once I stitch it. Hi Carol, how's it going? We're kind of almost done with our front of our jean jacket. I've really been enjoying this. All right. You know what I think would be a good thing? I think that adding interfacing to this piece, I know it's denim. I think adding interfacing to this would be a really good way to make this thickness match up to the opening. It's just an idea. So you might try that, you know? All right, so here is my left and right front. I have my pockets here. So you leave all that. You top stitch it and then you put this on here and that's, so this is what I'm talking about. I'm not a big fan of all this, you know, because that is going to be inside your pocket. Okay, just so you guys are aware of that. So normally a traditional welt, this little piece would be a separate pattern piece. It would be this shape plus a little bit of seam allowance going this way, and it would be like right here. That was it. That's it. And then you would actually sew the lining to the opening there and then turn it, and then you do it all in one. It's crazy. They have machines that do it all in one now too. That's pretty nuts. I've seen them. It's like, woo. That's crazy stuff. All right, I'm going to put my top stitch. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm going to, oh, shoot. I want to sew my yoke seam on and then do my top stitching. So let's see if I have enough thread. I just clipped it. Which flap? This one right here? Or the welt? Which one, Mullen? I made my pockets functional, so this does have a function, but this, no, it's just to cover up the opening. Otherwise, you would just have, you know, a hole and you'd see inside. So some people do leave off the welt to get away from that. You can have fun with that. It seems like a good idea when you go to do it, and then when you do it, you're going to be like, You do kind of feel like it's missing something. It feels unfinished. If you're going to do something like that, if you don't want the welt flap or you're nervous about it, what I would recommend is do a slit pocket instead. It's still an opening, but I would just do like an eye, you know, like that. Kind of like the corner would be like the top of a sleeve placket, you know what I mean? And just do your opening that way, and then lining to that and turn it, sew the shape, clip it, turn it, and then you just have a slit. You could do that. You're going to lose a little in the seam allowance. You're going to have to do like very small seam allowance. The extra fat, yeah, there's no use for that. See? So this is kind of a, for lack of a better or nicer word, it's a cheater welt. So you know what I could do? This is what I'm going to do, you guys. I'm going to stitch it to this piece. That's what we're going to do. Here you go, guys. this would be my solution. I'm going to stitch it to this piece right here. Keep the jacket out of the way. I'm so glad we talked about this. This makes me feel a lot better. It's in the way there. Here we go. I don't want to upset any of my little things. Here, let me see. Okay, so there you go. There's one solution. See, it doesn't change the outside at all. Thank you, Malin. Look, so that's what you get. But look at that. That's way better. That makes me much happier. Oh, my machine's not threaded still. Oh my God, you guys. Boy, do I get distracted. I feel like that was a good solution for that. And it wasn't hard for me to do that, was it? Just make sure you keep your jacket out of the way. I really want to post in the Seamwork community and say, you know, ask if anyone's made this and see, and then also say, you know, if you guys are interested, join us, but I don't want to advertise, you know, my stream. Maybe I'll just ask one of the mods in there if that would be okay if I did that. I don't get any benefit from it, except for it might help people. Maybe they would join us. Just trying to keep it really flat, not pull it, not rearrange it, you know. They did it this way, Malin, I'm sure, so that it would be an easy welt pocket for people. You know, the ensure success motto that I have is rings true for a lot of pattern companies too. And you know, I think that more people would sew this if they knew how easy the welt is to sew, you know. Okay, so there we go. Now it's nice and flat. It looks better on the inside than the outside. Of course, right? All right, let me put my yoke seam on. And then my yoke on, I mean, and then I'll top stitch it. Oh, so actually, this is where I want my lining. So sorry, I'm deviating really again from the instructions. So I made lining pieces for my front, for just the bottom front, okay? Just because I think it'll look nicer on the inside if I line it. I did nothing fancy. I'll show you what I did. Sorry, all my things aren't trimmed. These are all going to get encased, I think, in a seam, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. I may have to clean up some of them. Oh, like the waist seam, no big deal. Okay, there's that. Here's my panel. I forgot to, oh, I don't need to do this seam here. I just needed the top. Okay, so. All right, so when I made my lining pieces, I just taped, these two pieces together, the pattern pieces, and then that was one lining piece, and then I cut this as a lining piece. That's all I did. So it's this. Oh, and I cut it at the fold line of the front. See right here? Because this is going to fold over it. So basically that's what is going on there. That piece with the mid front, that's one of these pieces, and then the other one. So this one goes here. Trying to keep the pattern pieces look so similar. The center front, I'm having trouble. You don't really need to finish these seams. They're going to be encased, so I'm just going to do a 5/8 inch seam. This is very thin fabric compared to the denim. And then it's not like a regular lining of a garment. You know, I'm not really clean finishing it. I'm just providing, you know, one area where it's nice and clean finished. Totally unnecessary. Here's one. Here's the other. We're almost done today, guys. We're just going to do the fronts. There's a lot on these fronts. You guys are hardly even talking. Am I like, is it too much? Are you bored? I'm actually really into this project, so I'm sorry if you're bored. I'm going to top stitch this down because I want to. Because I love top stitching. Oh, this fabric is so thin, you guys. That's partly why I'm doing it too. I think I can clean finish the yoke seam, so I didn't even need to overlock that top edge there. Okay, so I'm going to do a few things in a few different orders. I still need to put my pocket on here. I don't have a pocket yet. I doubt it, Nancy. I don't know. I would love to make her something. She steals my other stuff. Nothing I've made, of course. You know what's interesting right now, what she's going through, is she can't find jeans to fit her. She can't find pants to fit her. Thanks, Eileen. Good. I'm glad. And it's really bugging her. And, you know, she's very, very slender, and she's a little taller than me. And she does have curves. Like, she's not just a, you know, flat board either, you know. So, it's interesting. Like, she's not going to really whine about her fit issues, but at the same, like, publicly to her friends. But she can't find anything to fit her. Nothing is small enough, and especially for her height. Like, she's probably 5'6", I think. She's not, like, really tall. And she really doesn't even know what I do here. She just doesn't, you guys. And so the other day she was really complaining about it, and I was like, I was hand sewing that little part on my pocket stay of my new ginger jeans. Remember the ones I keep screwing up right there? I was hand stitching, and I just finished, and I just threw them at her, and I was like, look, this is what I do all day, is I talk to people about fit and why pants don't fit us. And so you aren't alone. You know, like, I hate that this is happening to you, but I just want you to know that you're not alone, and it is an issue, and things aren't cookie cutter fit. You know, like, you look like someone to most people who wouldn't have any fit issues. And look, you're still having fit issues, you know, and she just doesn't even want to go shopping, and she needs pants, you know. So it's like, I was like, I can make you some, but they won't look like what she really wants. So, all right, so I'm going to put my yoke seam on, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean finish it. Wait. Did I do, wait, oh, yeah, right, because it's the, oh, yeah, okay. I got a little nervous there. She does know how to sew. She doesn't sew regularly, but she knows how. Let's see, if I do that, if I sew that, and I do this, see, even I have to figure this out, you guys. I do that, then I can still fold that over it. Okay, I'm just making sure I don't get myself into a pickle. I'm not going to finish this all the way because I still need to do my pocket top stitching. So I'm doing this. Dang it, why does my needle keep coming unthreaded? I think I keep grabbing it. She asked if her sewing machine. I know, Nancy, exactly. Like, that's why she doesn't really want to complain about it. All right. But there is, you know, there patterns fit one person in any company, you know, like. Okay, now remember, oh shoot, I didn't mean to clip my thread there. Try not to get my presser foot caught under there. Now remember, I have this little pocket opening right here. So let's see, what the heck happened to my ruler? Probably threw it away by accident. Oh, here it is. Good. I hate when I have to look for things. I'm just gonna see if I'm 5/8 of an inch away. Yeah, it's gonna like have a little 1/4 inch dip there. Perfect. I just wanna make sure I'm not in danger at all of closing my pocket opening. It's gonna go straight across then. And so this should line up to the fold line of the placket. There's my fold line. So I won't pull that too much. I'm a puller, remember? That's my thing. I pull things too much. Okay, there we go. So now see, I have this little bobble of my top stitching, but nobody's gonna know now because it's all gonna be enclosed like this. And then this is gonna fold over like that. So that's gonna be the inside of my jacket. Sharp A. Now it does mean that if I do this, oh, you know what? I can't do it this way. Dang. Do you guys know why? Because it pushes my seam down and I can't top stitch across it. Sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen until you do it. So I'll just put the lining in the way I planned originally. That's why I serged the edge there. Wish I wouldn't have back tagged right there. I don't know why I did. It was just a habit. When you make modifications, you have to be prepared that there may be some things you didn't think about, you know? I don't want to start my seam ripping from there because of all the serging threads. So I will just put this in flat on top of the bottom, and that's just how it'll just cover the bottom up. It's not necessary, but I feel like it'll look a little cleaner on the inside. And I love this fabric. No one's really going to see it, but you know. It's still going to look pretty good. I had a feeling there was something there and I just had to do it before and it's that darn top stitching. I'm not skipping that. It's looking very expensive. Well, you know, that's why we make it, right? With the materials and my time, it was, Nancy. Okay, so let me just sew this seam. Let's get rid of some of those threads. Yes, this does bug me right here. I'm really glad I won't be able to see it. I don't want to take it out because I don't want the start stops on my top stitching there. You know, I'm kind of fussy about that kind of stuff. All right, so I'm just going to sew this seam without the lining in it. No problem. And then I can do the top stitch. I could have actually put that on there. Oh, see, look, it went in the lint lava. Lint lava. Okay, so it would have been nice if I had just done that like now, like when I put that stitch there, or that seam there. Let's put this on here and sew it in before we get to the top stitch. Am I making this look difficult? Sorry, guys. So it's going to look like this. I'm just going to treat it all as one. Have the top stitch there, you know? Now I can line it up with the fold line for the placket there and make sure I've got it in the same spot at the top of the bottom. I should have just done this at the same time. It's always risky when you go back and sew your seam because then you might not get it in the same spot. I could do it from the other side, but this is easier dealing with this lightweight fabric on the denim. That's why I'm doing it from this side. Oh, not bad. Look at that. Okay. So then leave that. Then this is ready for top stitching, and then we'll finish our pocket down here. I knew just doing the front would be enough today. Lint lava! Alright, so this one we'll do correctly. We'll lay it on here. I know I won't be able to see those threads, but I still want them gone. Those big fat top stitch threads like worms or yarn. You can tell my serger thread is a little heavy for this fabric, can't you? Can you see it? I'm forging a trail. Lots of moving parts. Just think if you weren't doing all the mods, you'd be almost done. Wait, did I not get that lined up? Oh, I did. It's hanging out the front a little bit more than I would expect. The other one fits so well. Why is that? Did that get cut short? No. One of my seam allowances get off? You know what I think happened? I think I spread it out a little bit when I attached the pocket. So I'm going to try and fix that as I go. When I attached the pocket flap, I probably stretched the opening of the pocket a little bit. This part right here. Or maybe when I tried to put my phone in it. Oh, but that's so different. What the heck? Do you guys see that? Oh, I know why this one, yeah, sorry. I am lining it up to the cut edge and I can't do that. It's gotta go to the fold line. Are you guys screaming at me? There's a placket there, Jeremy, stop that. Isn't that funny? When you start focusing on one issue, you totally forget about all the others you need to be paying attention to. All right, I'll do it from the top side here like I was before. Yeah, there we go. We can do it. I wear my Tamarack jacket a lot, but I can already tell that this is one I'm gonna wear a lot as well. I'm just looking right now. I've folded up my hem. I'm looking at the fold line right there. You don't need to do this if you don't do the lining, but it helps as a guide. Okay, no problem. Woo! Kind of a problem. Barely made it. I may be trimming that placket a little bit. All right. See, it would be so nice if that was clean finished, wouldn't it? Okay, it's time to top stitch. Time to top stitch. At least I can pull through this one. And I think for top stitching, well, see, I have the sleeve. No, you don't know more than me all the time. Always good to shout at me. I know there's a delay, but I'll sense it. The sewing fairy will tell me. All right, you guys, let's do this. So I may have to deal with this a little bit. I'm definitely gonna have to deal with it. I can't leave it like that. It's only serged because I forgot when I was serging that I don't need to do the center front. I really want this to be nice and straight. It's right at the front of my jacket. Oh shoot. Ooh. That doesn't sound good. I adjusted my tension right there, and I probably shouldn't have. Ooh. Looks better here. Just take it out right here. Look at how easy it is. That's not a good sign. I could bind it. Don't even suggest things like that. You actually could bind all your seams on a jean jacket. I've seen that before. Looks really nice. You just need a really lightweight fabric. The lining fabric I'm using would actually work really well as a binding for this. But binding lightweight fabric onto heavyweight fabric, it is a little bit, adds a layer of difficulty. But it would look really nice on the inside. You really could. I kind of deserve this start-stop right there, don't I? Now, you can think about where you're going to want your bar tacks and things, because you will want to add some bar tacks. My issue with bar tacks is using this thread. My home machine, I don't know about you guys, but my home machine does not like this top stitch thread. And so I kind of have to use a regular weight thread when I do that. Oh, let's do our pocket opening here. Get everything out of the way. I'm going to start on the back side and go around. I'm a little nervous. I kind of wanted to do this with matching thread. See, it's just too slack right there. That's what it is. See, it's so slack right there. I'm gonna pull that on top of itself. I think interfacing your welt would be a really good idea. I'm pushing this down to push the seam allowance under the seam, you know? Oh, you do, Eileen? Yeah, did you hear that sound on the yoke? It was, I changed it and it was like, nope, that was too far. So, your one saving grace with your ends is that the pattern has you do a bar tack across this. So you could cover all that up. Look at my back stitch. It looks kind of bad right there. So maybe I will do that before I completely finish my pockets. But see, that's what happens when the, see this thread's not even in the tension disc. There we go. It's just a little too tight to get in there. So now what you would do is you're just going to, see, I'm going to line mine. So I actually don't really need to do a whole lot of finishing on this. Let's see which one fits the best. Is it this one? This one. Okay. Pattern pieces are just too similar. My notches are kind of gone. So you line it all up. Now you could just sew around the edge if it's finished. Oh, you did. Oh, yeah, Eileen, you did. That's awesome. Thank you. That's awesome. I don't have much left. It's all coming down today. So you could just sew around it because if your edges are serged like this. But probably a nicer thing to do would be to go like this. Put this right sides together. Yeah, it'll be awkward. But just sew around this edge, keeping your jacket out of the way. Sew around these three sides, flip it, and then you'd have a finished edge in there. A finished edge on the inside of your jacket. Me, I am going to, like, I didn't even need to serge these, because my lining is going to cover all this up. If I didn't have this lining, this is what the inside of my jacket would look like. So that's just so you know. This is what I'm going to do though. And then this placket folds over like this. It turns under and it finishes like that. And that's what the inside of my jacket is going to look like. The tension disc was probably too tight. So I would seat the thread down in there and then tighten it if you still need it that tight. So that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do off camera, sorry guys, is I'm going to do my bar tacks on my pocket end openings. And then I will finish the pockets. So what I'll do is I won't finish these pockets without you. I can just do that at the beginning on Saturday. And then we'll continue on with the back and the collar. Back and the collar. I wonder what else we could fit in. I'll probably do the sleeves next Thursday. Unless the back and collar go really fast. And now also is when I can now put on my interfacing. So, oh, I gotta fix that. Gosh dang it. This fabric is too lightweight. It's really causing me a lot of problems. Bummer. I keep getting start and stops. It's like my curse today. The heck? You know what's crazy is it's the bottom one. It's this one, but I need to remove both. And then there's a random blue thread right there. Yeah, so dang it. I'm not leaving that. Well, wait. Let's see if my placket covers it. Is it worth ripping it out and having a start stop on my top stitching there? No. Can I live with that? This right here is, you can see my denim there. So it looks like a big old glob of thread, but it's not. It's just my denim of the seam. All right, so maybe I will give myself a pass on this. If I overlock this whole thing like I have here, I could just top stitch it down like that without turning it. Turning it would be nice. It just creates more bulk. You know? I don't know if we do this before the collar or not. I gotta check that. That's why I'm not gonna finish all this. So that's my front. Oh, let's do the top stitching here. That's what I came here to do. Sorry. Promise I'm not trying to skirt the difficult details in front of you. I'm not sure putting my start stop at the long seam on this top stitching is the best idea visually. Stay. Making sure that seam gets right on top of itself. Because I top stitched the welt facing down, I have a little less leeway to fix that. But you know, when you go to do your bar tack, that really helps. I don't know what you're commenting on. Sorry, I missed what time. Oh, the yeah, that little weird thing I had. Yeah. It really looks wiggly if you hold it straight. This high contrast top stitch thread's no joke. There we go. It even looks more wiggly when you are doing it on this diagonal because the twill lines, you know, are doing that. Okay, so if I do a bar tack across here, you know, you kind of solve your pocket opening looking a little messy by covering it up. But overall, for my first jean jacket, I'm actually quite pleased. It's not perfect, but I really love visually I love my choice. You know? And then I have my pocket in here. I will put that in there, I promise. But I'm going to do my bar tack first. I'm going to decide whether... I kind of don't want to do a bar tack, you guys. I think I'm just going to stitch across it a few times. I have to think about that. Let's see. I just don't like that right there. I need to take out a few of those threads. Make it a little less... I'm going to get myself into trouble doing this, watch. Like right now. Look at that. What's that? What's that? Oh, phew. Okay. That's a little better. It looks wiggly. Maybe I should take that out and do that. Oh, I have to take that out, you guys. Sorry. You know what? This is what I say. I say you do your back stitch here, you know, or at the bottom or like around here. Because if you're going to bar tack over that, it'll cover up your back stitch, you know? Right, Nancy? Exactly. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out this leg here and then do my start stops on the ends. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have thought about that. But see, it's like once you sew it through, you kind of get the idea of like, oh, I know it could have worked better. Why not just do it, you know? We don't do this because it's faster. I'm trying to decide too, like I might do tack buttons on the front, you know, like jean buttons. Yeah, exactly, Eileen. Yeah, see, you're way ahead of me. The start and stop would be covered on the end. Exactly. They may even tell you to do this in the instructions. Maybe they tell you not even to top stitch it. In contrast thread, they're like, don't do that. Yeah, so I feel like I'm a little nervous to try the bar tack on my home machine. If I have a thread color that looks like this, I'm going to do that. Get rid of this. I'm so glad we stitched this down. Thanks to Malin. I dedicate my pockets to Malin. She made me think it through. Okay, so I'm gonna pull out a few more right here so that it's squarely in the middle. Right? All right. Now I can just back stitch and not even worry about it. It's freeing. You can kind of give your pocket the illusion of being squarer than it is. with your top stitching too. See, between these little popcorns and the little bit of fabric there, it makes it look like it's doing something it's not. So there we go. Yeah, now I can just cover that up. It's still a little wiggly. Yeah, tag buttons would look great, right? I have some star buttons from Chicken Boots I think would work. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to do my back tucks here, or I will just go over the ends a lot with this. I'm going to decide. I'm going to get my pieces ready for Saturday, which I think they are all ready for Saturday. I'm going to just see if I need to do the placket. So yeah, we're just kind of doing this piece by piece, you know. Just look good. Got this little short bit here. This is my left placket, so it's the one the buttons would go on. So at least it's not the one that is the one with the buttonholes. Now that I've got it shorted a little bit. I'm pretty sure that must have happened when I tacked the pocket flap down on the pocket. I must have spread apart this opening a little bit. It's pretty cute. So. All right, guys. Well, that concludes today. We did a lot today. We did all the hard stuff. We still do need to do our sleeves. There's quite a bit of top stitching in the sleeves. That's kind of why I've been nervous about the top stitch thread. And then back yoke, collar, waistband. I still have some thread though, so hopefully we'll be okay. And I'll start hunting around for more maybe, just in case. So thank you. Thanks for coming. The Audrey Jean Jacket. Check me out on Instagram, SewSewLive, and make sure you guys subscribe and follow. And we're live here Thursdays and Saturdays. Thursdays 10 a.m. Pacific, Saturdays 11 a.m. Pacific. Those times are subject to change, so you just check out the Instagram. Soon the website. Well, Trinka, we started a little bit ago. Sorry, we've been live for 2.5 hours. Sorry. This stream will be uploaded, so you can rewatch it. You can pause it and fast forward and get past all my mistakes, not make my mistakes, you know, do your own thing. So thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. And I hope if you're new here, you consider creating a YouTube account or a channel is what they call it, so that you can chat with us, because we love it when you chat with us. It makes it really fun. And it's a really nice community. So thanks for coming, guys. Have a great rest of your week. I'll see you Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific. So mark that time. It's 12:30 my time right here. So that gives you an idea what that time that is for you. So take care, guys. I'll see you soon.